What a classic system. Oh, the GameCube came out in November 18th, 2001, and it defined my first few years of my life playing games. Now I'm just gonna talk about my memories with the system and some of the games with gameplay and my experience with them. I hope you enjoy this retrospective on the Nintendo GameCube. There was a ton of classic games on the GameCube, such as TTYD, The Simpsons Hit and Run, Luigi's Mansion, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, Tak 2: The Staff of Dreams, Super Mario Sunshine, and the list just goes on and on. I mean, a lot of my favorite games came from the GameCube, and a lot of them you could play on new consoles now, like the Switch, but a lot of them are still stuck on the GameCube, so I think it's a good reason to go back and play this system. Let me real quick talk about the controller. I mean, it's perfect for most games on this system, like Sunshine or Mansion, where you hold the R button to use the vacuum, and it has that certain type of pressure sensitivity, and it just feels good to use. All the buttons have a nice click to it. See? Now, the GameCube launched with one big game, in my opinion, and that was Luigi's Mansion, a game that I love, but at the time, a lot of people complained about. This game really showed the power of this system, and with the lighting effects and the dust effects, and it was just awesome. And we got more and more games as the system went on that looked more advanced, but this was the start of it. Of course, in the case of this game, it was the start of Luigi's own franchise, which still goes on the strong. I mean, we just got the third game on the Switch a few years ago, but to me, nothing beats the first one. And so much games on the GameCube just aged so well. I mean, look at Wind Waker. I mean, that game looks like it came out just yesterday, not a game from 2002. As I said before, I think Wind Waker is the best looking game of that whole time frame of the early 2000s. I still think it looks nicer than the HD version with the lighting and such. The GameCube, to me, felt like the last true game console where it was just meant to play great games, because the PS2 had the DVD support and such, but since it was just a game console, it was able to nail down single player and multiplayer experiences. I mean, Super Smash Bros. Need I say more? Games that just stick with me, like Tak 2: The Staff of Dreams. I remember playing this game all the time as a kid, and I still do now. I mean, it's just a fun, a 3D platformer that, again, that's a genre that just died off nowadays, except for a handful of exceptions, which is sad. But the GameCube had them in spades, and a lot of which I still go back to now. And like I said at the start here, a lot of them are just still stuck on the GameCube, which is unfortunate. The GameCube allows you to play library games. You can play every song at the time, from the classic all the way to the Dreamcast games, and that was awesome. In fact, as a kid, I didn't even know the adventure games were Dreamcast games. I feel like a lot of kids felt the same way who were born in the year 2000. They didn't know this was a game from a few years before, because they remastered it. Now, a lot of people say the the GameCube version aren't the actual way to play and the Dreamcast way to go. I feel the same way nowadays. But to me, I'm more nostalgic for the Dreamcast version, because that's the version I grew up with. Plus, you can play all the classics, like I said, from 1, 2, 3 Knuckles the CD with the gems collection. They are on the from the gems, and that's just awesome. I mean, you had this huge library of games with the GameCube. Not to mention, of course, the Game Boy Player, which I'll talk more about in a bit. Now, some games on the GameCube got lucky and got plucked from obscurity. Look at SpongeBob. That game was an obscure game. A lot of people had fond memories of it, and a lot of people like to speedrun that game. So a few years ago, THQ brought that game back and remastered it, but I feel with that game in particular, it lost a lot of the charm the GameCube game had with the whole look and feel of the game. The controls were off in the new one, so I just still stick with the GameCube/Xbox versions when I play this classic game, which I would love to do a full video on. When I think of the GameCube, I think of this time of year. It's May right now when I'm making this, and I think of games like Sunshine, Wind Waker with blue skies. It's a little warm, and it's an all-around cozy system. It just gives you that right feel, because I grew up with it. Now, I don't know if a person who didn't grow up with it would feel the same way, but the GameCube just has a lot of cozy games to me. Now, I just don't play GameCube this time of year. I still play GameCube a few times a week. I've gone on and on. There's just so much classic games on the system where I feel you could almost never get bored. If I was trapped on Isle Delfino and I had to bring one system with me, it'd be this. The GameCube is where I first played my first GTA style game in the Simpsons Hit and Run. I remember just driving around. I remember the first time you hit one of the pedestrians on the sidewalk, and they'd go flying, and they just make a splat noise. I thought that was hilarious. Hit and Run was one of those games that really just inspired my imagination, that you're free to explore this big open world, and from the show, and it looked exactly like the show, but in 3D, and you could do what you want to do, and I always had more fun, and you just drove around, you made your own fun, you made up your own plots in your head as you were driving around and getting the buzz cards and buying all the different cars, and the missions were fun too, but just something about the exploration of this game was great. Speaking about capturing my imagination, The Legend of Zelda TP. This game, I remember getting so into it. Used to just have his Link, and it took me years to beat this game, but it was just so great that they had the big open world, and this was before I played OT, and it was just a fun game, a fun, mature game. I first played this game, I was about 8 years old, I want to say, and I just thought it was so badass, basically. It's still to this day in my top 2 Zelda games. I love this game, and now I wish they would put this game on the Switch and not leave the HD version on Wii U, but maybe soon. But time will tell, I guess. So, come on, Nintendo, we want TV HD. Reasons why the GameCube was so awesome, because it could play Game Boy Advance, OG Game Boy, and so much more with the Game Boy Player adapter, which you need a little disc, and that just opens a whole huge library of games to be played right on your TV and not on a small screen handheld. Now, a lot of these games I want to do full-length retrospectives on, like Pac-Man World 2, Pac-Man World 3, Sunshine. But this is just to show how awesome the GameCube game, how big its library is, and it's just hit after hit game, both made by Nintendo and third parties. Now some of these games, like Pac-Man World 2, could be played on PS2, but but I will always know him as GameCube Games, and I will always think that. Now I want to end this by making my own montage of all the great games for the system. I hope you enjoyed, and until next one.